What is up, everybody? This is Josh back again with another video on Tech and Ish. Now, today's video is going to be about allrise. I'm not too sure if you're actually watching this. It doesn't seem like a lot of people are actually watching this show, but I actually think it's really good. It's something you should watch out there. It just came out. It's on its first season. Episode 2 just aired, I believe it was today or yesterday, and it was really good. Now, what made me actually want to start watching this TV show was the cast. Now you have the judge, which is Judge Lola, who is played by Simone Missick. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. You might remember her from Luke Cage. She was like the detective in Luke Cage. And there's also Wilson Bethel, which is the ADA. He goes by Mark in the TV show. And I actually like this guy's acting. He used to appear in Criminal Minds episode a while back, and he was like this crazy guy. He ends up cutting off his own ear because he's hearing like voices or something like that. It was a while back, you know. I can't remember that far. But recently he ended up showing up in Daredevil. He was Bullseye, and this guy played an amazing actor of Bullseye, and that's basically what made me become a fan of him even more. So that kind of drew me to why I wanted to watch this show, is because of Simone and Wilson. And then there's also this other girl. Her name is Jessica Camacho, and she goes by Emily in the TV show. And she was in The Flash. She was Cisco's girlfriend. So to start off with this episode, it deals with basically immigration. There's this guy who's going to court because supposedly he assaulted the security guard at a market store. Now this market store is basically selling a bunch of food that's already been expired. All the meat is dated or outdated, and he's basically just trying to protest that. He's a person who likes to actually stand up for people, and even though he's an immigrant, he doesn't let that stop him from actually making his voice heard. Now Leo, which is the defendant, who's basically trying to do this whole protest stuff, he's thinking he's just going to court to try to plead a case of assault, like basically trying to make it seem like he didn't assault anybody. There's video cameras showing that he didn't do anything. All of a sudden a guy comes in. Now at first glance I actually thought that this guy was maybe like a gang leader, or he was like somebody who was important, because when Leo saw him, he was scared. A couple seconds later, you end up finding out that he's actually ICE. Leo jumps out of the seat. He's basically talking right there next to the judge. He jumps out of his seat and he just smashes. He's gone. So they end up catching him. The bailiff catches him, and the agent Soto, he ends up telling Leo that he's going to be here waiting for him to take him back. Leo is basically running because he just doesn't want to go back to where he's from, because there's a lot of people who are dying over there, and he knows that if he goes there, he's going to be dead. So he's trying to do whatever he can to make sure he actually stays in the U.S., but Agent Soto is trying to make sure that that doesn't happen. Now, what made me actually like this episode a lot was the fact that it had to deal with immigration. Now, of course, as you can see, I'm Mexican, and I know a couple people who are immigrants and who are basically scared to be living in the U.S. because of basically everything that's happening. Now, of course, I was born here. I don't know what they're going through, but I can actually feel how they feel at the fact that they're actually scared of a country that's supposed to protect them, and yet they're basically trying to get deported. Now, these people haven't committed any crimes. I'm talking about the people I know. They haven't committed any crimes, and yet they're basically profiled as bad people who need to be sent back to Mexico. And this is why I actually like this episode a lot, because it actually touched the base on this. Now, Judge Lola, what I like about her is that she's not your average kind of judge. Now, if you see all these other judges, basically every single one of them is white. It's a white old guy. And to me, they play by old-fashioned rules. Lola is something different. She actually plays by her own rules, and she wants to make a difference in each case. There's her assistant who's basically constantly telling her that she needs to just let every case go. Don't let them go to trial. Don't fight for them. But Lola is not about that. She's basically always trying to fight for the case, trying to make sure that she understands everything. And what I liked about Lola of what she actually did to that to Agent Soto was basically telling him that if she steps foot in her courtroom again, that she's going to arrest him. She doesn't care that he's a federal agent or he works for the government. She doesn't care about that. She basically wants to make sure that Leo is protected. Now, this is just going to be a quick video about the review of that episode, because I just want to talk about the main points that I thought were important. Now, Leo's attorney, the public defender, Emily, is basically telling him that there is a deal on the table, but the only thing that you could do is plead guilty and you'll get 4 years in prison on a felony charge. Now, if he pleads to a felony charge, then he can no longer get asylum here in the U.S. So he's basically going to try to see if he can try to find asylum somewhere else. And the lawyer who's basically trying to put Leo away, now all of a sudden starts saying that she wants to drop all the charges because she knows that her case is weak. Now, the only reason she wants to do this is because Agent Soto talked to her, told her that it'll be best for her to actually let this case go, drop all the charges, and it'll actually make her look good on her end. Makes it seem like she's going to run for governor or something like that. And she's basically going to let ICE handle everything. Now, Leo's attorney basically tells the lawyer that she should not do that, because if she does that, then Leo is going to be deported right away, and most likely he's going to end up dead. They end up taking this deal or this issue to Judge Lola, and Lola doesn't even accept it. She's basically trying to find some type of way that she can actually push this case a little bit further. She's researching everything that she can find, try to make sure that Leo doesn't accept this deal, because she knows it's a bad deal. But Leo has his hands tied. He doesn't know what else to do. Lola is basically looking through some law books, trying to find some type of misdemeanor where he can actually go to jail for a little bit of time, and it won't be in a felony charge. And if he goes to jail, then no one would contact ICE because it wasn't a felony charge. So Leo has a girlfriend who ends up going back to that market, and that market that they were protesting, because the girlfriend starts slapping a bunch of stickers on the food that's expired. That way, customers will know, don't buy this because it's basically going to make you sick, or it's expired and it's no good for you. The owner of that store is basically holding his girlfriend kind of like in custody. She's basically just sitting down on a chair with security around her, waiting for the lawyer to come back, which is Emily. You see Emily storming, and you can tell that she's mad because of what's actually happening. Now, this girl is basically not doing nothing but making awareness to everybody that goes to buy food there. And the owner ends up saying the term, "you people." Automatically, Emily starts putting two and two together and realize that it was the owner who actually called ICE on Leo, which was something that actually worked for the case. From what Emily knows now, the fact that the owner was the one who called ICE, she's actually able to use this in court. She talks to Judge Lola, tells her that she thinks that this case should be thrown out, that it should be like a mistrial at least, because the one who ended up calling ICE was the owner, and since the owner ended up putting his nose in it, he basically took the law into his own hands, so she thinks that it can actually be a mistrial. Judge Lola tells them all to go into her chambers. She ends up looking through a book, the law book basically, and she finds out that there is a law out there that'll make all of this turn into a misdemeanor. And since this turns into a misdemeanor, Leo's going to go to jail for a couple months to a year, I believe. And when he gets out of jail, ICE will not be notified. Nobody's going to know when he gets out of jail. Only Leo would. So it kind of worked out for everybody. Now, what I liked about this is the fact that Lola actually went beyond what she was supposed to do to try to make sure that Leo got the best deal, that Leo was actually able to stay in the U.S. And that's kind of why I like this show, because Lola, the judge, is not your average judge. She's doing things differently, and I can't wait until the next episode comes out. If it is any good, I'll definitely review it. I don't see a lot of people talking about this show, so let me know if you want me to talk about it or not. Don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe. Let me know how I'm doing, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.